Good afternoon. This is Ron Brown. It's May 15th, 2026. I'm going to take a quick look at the market, not spend a lot of time today. I also want to show you something that Chris White's been working on at EdgeRater, and we're going to do a combined webinar about how HGSI and his software EdgeRater work together. He's done some pretty amazing stuff here, and I want to just get your interest up a little bit so you'll join us next Saturday. Chris will be sending a note out, an email about the time, and probably give you a little description of it, but I'll give you a little preview today. Anyway, the breadth is still relatively narrow. This market has been, of course, driven by technology and AI-related stocks. And there's a lot of other stocks and groups that are laggards. So anyway, the breadth is relatively narrow. And this, like I said, it's going to be just a quick look using intraday market analysis. And once again, if you haven't looked yet, here's your Google Finance site, which is AI driven. As always, remember the market is your teacher. It's a lesson that's learned every day. Any stock index or ETF mentioned in this presentation is not a recommendation to buy or sell. All trading strategies are used at your own risk. Okay, I'm going to use this chart just because it has the information about the crossovers on it, plus the volume point of control, plus the crossover bars, which are dark green, and the other bars indicate days of accumulation. And then this is a industry group comparison. It compares the industry group, which is blue, how the stock's doing compared to the industry group, and then the red, the QQQ is green, and the SPY is red. So you can see how a stock compares to these groups. Now, if I put a stock like MU on here, you can see the stock has been outperforming its group. Through here, it's kind of flattened out and is working alongside of it, and it's been outperforming the S&P and the QQQ because these lines are going up dramatically along with this line. But this is outperformance. So if this line is going up, it means the stock is outperforming the SPY and QQQ. Now I have updated the groups, but I haven't rebuilt them. Let me just go in here. You can see this blue line is not complete here, so I will go into industries. Darn it, I'm a little clumsy today. I'm going to go under tools and select rebuild indexes and groups. And what this is doing, it's taking the current information as of the last 5 minutes, and it is rebuilding the industry groups for today. Just takes a second to do. I mean a minute, not a second. So I'll just let it go. Okay, that's it. Now if I enter a symbol in here, I'll just re-enter MU, redraw, and notice that the blue line is now in the same area as the S&P and the QQQ. So if you want your industries to be rebuilt during the day, to reflect that, you have to go under Tools, Rebuild Indexes and Group after touching the folder. That's just a minor thing, but I thought it had my interest in case you didn't know that was the case. Okay, what I want to do is I'm going to just go into the warehouse views, and I'm right here. I'm in under my folder Ron Brown top-down process views, and I'm down here at intraday relative strength to S&P sectors. This is updated every 5 minutes, so you can see where we stand right now. There's only one sector that is up today, but these other sectors are off of their lows, well off of their lows. The technology sector, which sold off hard early, is now at 84% of its daily range. So bring it up. Notice there's no industry group line in here because I'm not looking at a stock. I'm looking at a sector. But you can see what happened. It sold off at the beginning today. Gap down here. Gap down minus 1.83%, which would be right here. And then it traded down. And of course the buyers are coming in. They're not going to let this market go yet. Or I don't think they are. I don't know. But anyway, they're stepping up. One of these days there will be a catalyst and it'll break. But until it does, we just have to assume that the trend is up. Now look at this chart on the LK. Back here, well, I'll zoom, make it larger. You can see it was doing nothing through here except going down. The moving averages were really tight together, but the trend was clearly down. So every time it started to move up, it would only go for a day or two, or not even that. But when the moving averages are squeezed together like they have been back here, that indicates that more than likely there's going to be a lot of resistance, and the sector just couldn't get moving. And then we had the sell-off here, got down here, and here is an effort to rise. And with this effort to rise, there was also a volume pocket pivot, a blue line, which gives it more credence. That is the signal. And notice the angle of the 3 and the 6. It started shooting up quickly. At the same time, you can see, using the comparison up here, this sector was outperforming the SPY and the QQQ. That's because the lines were going up. So this is handy just to get a reference. Now going back here, look how this sector was acting compared to the S&P and the QQQ. It's either flat or underperforming. Here we got a kind of a move up. It was outperforming and then came right back down, and then after this signal right here, the relative performance to the SPY and the QQQ became much stronger, and it really hasn't looked back. We had a quiet period right in here where it didn't do much, but notice the sector was above the 3 and the 6. The 3 is a micro trend, the 6 is a short-term trend, and the 18 is an intermediate term trend, and those are represented down here by these histograms. Micro trend, short-term trend, intermediate term trend. These are all labeled over here on the left-hand side. Now I told you, I think last week, that I put these green bars in here to show accumulation days, and the criteria, there's multiple criteria for that. They can either be VPA flags or candlesticks, but it shows you how strong this sector has been, because this is mostly green here, mostly solid green for several days, then slight pullbacks as we get some negative candles, but it's been extremely strong. Okay, I'm going to go back to this. Let's just do an update. Hit the F5 key. It's downloading all the intraday data. So this here is up to date now. You can see the energy sector, it actually went up to 2.01. If I go to the XLE, APA Corp, APA is on top of 4.38% today. Now going back here using the warehouse view or the spreadsheet view, it's been down. The 3 has been below the 6, 7 days. This is a high relative strength stock. The VPOC or volume point of control, I forgot to mention that. It has been up positive for 2 days. And it generally leaves the 3-6 crossover. So this column is important. But let's take a look at APA. And you can see the crossover is happening today. So as of yesterday, this information here and here represents the way it stood yesterday. But notice how it sold off. And even though there weren't green bars in here, these are accumulation bars. But they're black candles, and they didn't register as being bullish, but you can tell they're bullish because they, after the gap down, after these two, notice these all closed near the top of their intraday ranges, and they had small bodies, which indicated the selling was leveling off. And I'm going to put the crosshair on. If you go down here to the bottom, you can see when the volume point of control turned positive. And here's a bullish candle, and here's an effort to rise today and a bullish crossover with the 3 going up through the 6. It shows you that the green bars and the VPA signals are generated intraday. Now I'm going to go back up and let's look at the tech sector. It's only down 0.99 now, but look where it is in the intraday range. It's come back, it's regained 3/4 of its intraday move to the downside. This 75.92 represents the high and low of the candle and where it stands relative to the rest of the candle. Let me see if I can explain this better. Okay, the range tells us that it's trading almost at 76% of its intraday range, and the intraday range would be between the low here and the high here. So there's buying coming back in, and look at the volume bar and the projected volume. Looks like another heavy volume day. So let's go take a look at the XLK stocks. Just drop down here. Where's the strength? In phase energy. That is in this sector. Okay, let's take it in. Wow, this has been moving recently. I hadn't realized it. So let's check this chart out here. Okay, I think I misspoke earlier. I said the blue line is the industry group and its relative strength. It's not relative strength. It is the industry group. So the way I did it, or the reason I did it this way, is to see, when I look at a stock, to see if the industry group is going up. It's not relative strength. It's just the actual industry group. And let me double check that here. Edit current view, group index, industry group index. It's not relative strength comparative like the SPY and the QQQ. So it's a relative strength, but it's a visual relative strength. It's not calculated. So you can see right here that the industry group started turning up while this one was still going down. And then we had a no supply, and we had a crossover here, but that didn't last very long. Came back down, stopping volume, and then we had some accumulation days, and then we had a crossover on this day right here. And you can see how dramatically this has shot up since the crossover. If I use my alternate A key, bring this line up and this line here, I can actually measure from here to where we currently are today, and that's a 49% change if you look down here at the bottom of the chart over 8 periods. Dramatic move up. And it was caught by the crossover. Now you can see on these volume bars here, this is where the volume really started coming in, where we had the blue volume, but the VPOC crossover happened the same day that the 3-6 crossover. So you can see that it was relatively flat with the performance on the QQQ and SPY, but those indexes were going up, and at this point it really started outperforming these two indexes. Now I think I've shown you enough of that, what I wanted to show you. I'm going to move on so this video doesn't get long. I just want to show you a couple of things that you have to look forward to. This is something that Chris has been working on, and it's a combination of EdgeRater and HGSI working together. They've always worked together. They have for years, and so George was looking for kind of a visual scorecard. I don't know if that's a correct word, but what Chris came up with, and he's been saving the warehouse views for years, and with that information, he can just pull this information out of the saved file. And we'll go through all of this next Saturday, how you save the file and how these are all generated. But you can see here are the numbers, for example, on the EPS rank or the relative strength rank. Here is, you can see that there are quite a few 80s and 90s, and down here there's a bunch of between the 10 and 20. But if I go to RS rank, and if I click, or I'm sorry, if you look up here, you'll see that between a 90 and 100, there are 719 stocks between 90 and 100. That is a lot of high RS stocks, even though these the market has been relatively narrow. We still have a lot of high relative strength stocks. Now this is a calculation based on a 1-year period, with most of the emphasis on the last quarter. Now I'm going to go back to the dashboard by clicking on here, and see this button here that says AI Analysis. Well, if you click on that, it's going to take all the information that's gathered over the years and give you an AI analysis. And we'll really go into this next week. I'm just going to do it quickly. Well, you can't really do it quickly because there's so much data. It says it may take up to 2 minutes. So I'm going to pause this video rather than just sitting here. Well, it didn't take very long at all. Anyway, here's the market analysis from yesterday, May 14th. Narrow semiconductor-led rally, mass broad institutional retreat. So it's all this information is spelled out for you based upon AI. Now what I like to do is open a copy of Microsoft Word, and I'm sure the Google document would work also, and then just paste that information in here. And then I find it more readable. But if you wish, you can use Copilot to run AI through it again, just to organize it. And for example, structure and refine this document, make it more concise. Let me see if Let's click on this one. And you can see that Copilot's working. I'm going to pause this. So you can see this information came up over here. Overall assessment, the document is analytically strong and insight rich, but its structure is too flat and text dense. Anyway, I'm not going to read all that, but you can do a lot of things. Just add another layer of AI on here. Chris will show you all of this next week, and just wait for that announcement from him when we're going to do that. And it should be interesting, but the products work really well together. I'm going to cut this video off here before it gets too long. I just wanted to show you some of the work that Chris has been doing. He's done a great job on this, and I think you'll like it if you're an HGSI and EdgeRater user, or if you're one or the other and would like to get the other product. Thanks for listening.